Hey, what's going on, Cowpokes? And welcome back to 10 more amazing or insane details in Red Dead Redemption 2 you probably didn't know. After rescuing the slaves for Brother Dorkins, you can stop by the register in the fence shop and you can give them the money that's in the register.
Here, take that and come with me. I know someone who can help you.
The next detail is a pretty cool feature that if you jump from certain heights, you can actually land on the back of your horse.
Oh, girl.
Move out the damn way.
Yeah. Okay, girl.
Hello there.
In the mission A Rage Unleashed, whenever you're in the canoes paddling up to the main ship, if you splash around too much, Dutch will make a comment on it.
Easy. They're gonna hear us. Try not to splash too much, Arthur.
There are hardly any rare events that will happen when you're on Guarma, but when you're walking up one of the trails, you might fall into a trap that the guards have set for you, causing you to get a wanted level and you have to fight your way out.
Forward to killing the rest of you bastards.
For this next detail, we're going to be taking a closer look at Dutch's rings on his finger. If you look closely at him, you can see that one of the rings makes out the letter D, and the other is a lion's head. As far as what they symbolize, I have a couple theories going on, but on the finger that has the ring that looks like a D, it may just stand for Dutch or Dutch Vanderlyn, but I also believe that it looks more like a pirate sword, kind of like the hilt on a sword. I don't know if that's what Rockstar was going for, but it could also mean that Dutch being comparable to a pirate, maybe even Blackbeard. Blackbeard was actually a man of the people and went around gathering followers that believed in him. So Dutch is sort of like the pirate of the West, traveling around, never calling one place home, stealing from the rich and protecting the poor. Well, at least that was his motto before he met Micah, and then had his descent into craziness, and you know how that turned out. Now, as far as the lion ring, I think it could just symbol, because a lion means many different things, mostly pride, but a lion symbols strength, courage, bravery, and all of these are characteristics that Dutch had, but mostly I think it might represent pride, because that is eventually what led to his downfall, was his pride. So very interesting how Rockstar placed these things that many players probably wouldn't even notice to potentially have much deeper meanings. In this detail, whenever you're inside of Bronte's house, you can actually notice that his wallpapers have the initials AB, which I assume obviously stands for Angelo Bronte. Kind of weird for a man to actually have so much things in his house that are in a really conceited manner like this. I don't know. To me, that just seems really creepy, but the dude is meant to be a creep. He's one of the main antagonists, but I don't even think Micah's this obsessed with himself. If you decide to aimlessly meander around the mayor's party during the mission The Gilded Cage, you can see different interactions with some of the gang, talking with some of the people at the party. And if you follow Bill around, you can see him approach two men and completely look out of place. He's really awkward when he's talking. He doesn't really know what the hell he's even talking about. So basically Bill just being Bill Williamson. But one of the men that he's talking to is named Hector Fellows, a pretty important character that you can actually meet again later on in the game whenever you do the side missions for the mayor at his mansion late in the evenings.
Can I help you, sir?
Well, I'm not quite sure yet. Albert Daniels.
Bryn Tilden. This is Mr. Hector Fellows.
Well, it's nice to meet the both of you.
New suit?
Yeah. No, it's a new shirt.
Are you new in town?
Yes. I come from the west. I mean the north.
The Northwest.
Okay. I came down from Washington myself many years ago.
This town gets to a man. Undermines even the best of us.
I'm doing my best, sir.
Truth is an absolute, sir. Don't you think?
Well, I don't quite understand.
Well, you are not, it would seem, the only one.
I was in the Army once.
Good for you.
What do you do now?
Well, I'm not quite. Oh, I'm an American.
Yes, but what do you do?
Oh, well, I'm in between jobs at the moment.
Oh, of course.
You shall be too, sir, if you don't sharpen up your morality.
I'm trying, sir. I'm trying.
Well, try harder. Much harder.
What would you like me to do? Hit the mayor myself?
Impudence. I see you still got that. But it takes more than a steady line in insults to succeed in newspapers. At least in mine. Good evening.
Freak.
Enjoying yourself?
You know, I think those fellers were making fun of me. Anyway, what you found out?
Nothing too much yet.
I'll be glad when this is over.
Self-righteous know-it-all.
Excuse me?
Oh, not you. Hector Fellows. I thought you overheard our conversation. He pays me to be the editor of that newspaper, but he pokes his nose in at every turn. He thinks morality is unbiased, but it is quite the opposite. I'm sorry. I'm ranting.
Hello?
After the short interaction with Bill, you can follow Hector Fellows and have a follow-up conversation with him afterwards. And then later on, whenever you get an invitation to go back to the mayor's house to do his missions where he needs you to threaten people or beat people up, one of those people ends up being Hector Fellows. It appears that he had promised to finance something or the other about making a library for the mayor and backed out on his deal at the last moment, so now the mayor is tasking you with going and basically pulling a Leopold Strauss on this poor man.
So hard these days to find men of true morals, especially in journalism.
Indeed, it is.
And you certainly won't find many here. How do you think they got so rich? Well, anyway, enjoy your evening.
Violence is never right.
I agree with you. But it's not violence. It's the mere threat of violence.
Against whom?
Oh. Against Hector Fellows' worst nature. To convince him to make good on his promise to help finance the library.
What the hell do you want?
Mr. Fellows, ain't it? Charity, sir. And an appeal to your better nature.
This is most impudent.
Oh, no, it's not most impudent. Trust me, buddy. I can get a whole lot more impudent. But the mayor...
Mayor? The mayor is a crook.
Me too. Oh, I'm sorry, was that... Yes, I'd like to finance the library for the common good. Ah! What was that? Ah! Please! All right! All right! There. You see? That wasn't difficult. You know, they say it's better to give than to receive. The mayor awaits your check, sir. Been a pleasure. There's a good man in there. Let him live a little more. Driver! Hold up!
After doing the initial loan sharking missions for Leopold Strauss, depending on which debt you go and retrieve first, will determine a certain dialogue change whenever you have the small cutscene with Strauss whenever you return back to camp. So you can do, let's just say, you can retrieve Lily Millet's debt first, and then whenever you come back, you'll have dialogue specifically pertaining to that debtor. And then you can even do all of the debts at one time, and then whenever you come back to camp, then Arthur will mention all of the debtors in the conversation.
How did you get on, Herr Morgan?
Called in on the smallholder, Roble. Didn't even speak English.
Good, very good.
My pleasure.
How did you get on, Herr Morgan?
Collected on that ranch hand. Slippery feller. Lucky I got him.
Good, very good.
My pleasure.
How did you get on, Herr Morgan?
Got Lily Millet's debt. Made some bad decisions in her life.
Good, very good.
My pleasure.
How did you get on, Herr Morgan?
I made a start on things. Haven't recovered all of it yet.
Good, very good.
My pleasure.
Well, if it's pleasure you're after, there is one other. This farmer preacher fellow I met in Valentine, Mr. How did you get on, Herr Morgan?
Fine. Our accounts are up to date. Sad sacks, a lot of them.
Good, very good.
My pleasure.
Well, if it's pleasure you're after, there is one other. This farmer preacher fellow I met in Valentine, Mr. Downs.
For this last detail, I like to call the Bone House. If you're ever in Butcher Creek, you can come to one of these houses on the outer part of the little village that the people live there. And on the roof and all around the building, you can see it's decorated with different types of animal bones and things like that, and skeletons. But if you look underneath the house in the crawl space, you can actually see a little mound of human skulls placed there, which is super creepy. There's a whole mystery going on about Butcher's Creek and having a pentagram and at certain angles, if you look there, or the light makes a pentagram. So there's a lot of evil things going around in this place. A lot of witchcrafty, black magic kind of stuff that there seems to be a lot of in this game. So if you ever want to check this out for yourself, just go to Butcher Creek, look into the westernmost part of the village, and you'll find this house. I think it's the same house where the guy who's playing a banjo, the deformed guy who's playing a banjo. While the rest of the video plays out, I'd like to take this opportunity to address everything that was going on lately that I had mentioned in my one of my community posts. So I never grew up with a father. My father abandoned me, never wanted anything to do with me, even up until this point. So the only person I had in my life who was the father figure was my grandfather. I was raised by my grandparents. And you know, he did have his problems. He did drink a bit, but he was never a bad man to me. He always treated me well. He always made sure I have everything I needed and everything I wanted. And I couldn't have asked for a better person to have raised me as a father in my life. But right now, he's in the hospital, and he's almost 80 years old, and he's been diagnosed with cancer again. He has lymphoma. Which he already had before once in his life, so I guess it came back. So it's been kind of hard. You know, he used to be a big, stocky, you know, a strong man, and now to see him so fragile and, you know, really, really, you know, thin, it breaks my heart. But there's nothing we can do about that. And then I have a slew of other problems going on in my life right now with my own health. Things going on in my house with plumbing and electrical problems, but all of that, you know, sometimes the Lord tests us, and the only thing we can do is just endure through it. So, you know, it's things like this happen in life, and I'm pretty sure, you know, there are worse things going to happen in life, so we just have to deal with them. You know, I'm not really an emotional person, so a lot of people look at me that, you know, like I don't care, but that's not the issue. I care a lot, and I'm really worried, but some people just get more emotional than others. So anyway, and I know, you know, putting this kind of stuff online, you know, there's going to be people out there who are going to just go out of their way to give you a hard time. You know, those are not real men or real grown-up people, and I understand that. So, you know, but I'm only doing this to give an update to people who wanted to know why I hadn't been uploading for around a week. Since I upload now, I try to upload 4 or 5 times every week. It's just been very hard to get around to editing and recording and then even having the desire to do this kind of stuff. But things are getting better. His chemotherapy started, and he's been doing pretty well with it. So everything is looking a little bit on the up right now. So I thank God for that. So I thought I'd just give a little update to everybody who asked for it in the community post. I know a few people had reached out and wanted updates as things happen. So this is what's been going on. And as for the people who I know are going to make obnoxious or whatever comments, I mean, I couldn't care less. So that's why I don't even really bother with comments too much. A lot of people like to start a lot of issues and drama for absolutely no reason, and I just don't have the time nor the desire to engage in any of that. Things are looking better. Things are not great, but at least for now, I can go back into getting back into my regular schedule and spending time with my wife and my daughter and my family as much as I can. So thanks everybody for sticking around, for not giving up completely on the channel. I really do appreciate that, and for all the support that everybody's been giving and all the best wishes. It really does mean a lot. I'm not just saying that. It really does help me get through it, and I appreciate everybody who's been here. So anyway, this went on way longer than I thought it would, and I'm gonna shut up right now. So anyway, thanks everybody. See you in the next video. God bless. Stay safe. Stay cool. Stay very cool. It's very hot out there.
Wake him up a little! Forgiveness? There's some folks who don't deserve it.